So we'll move on to the this is I need to just even though it's not your syllabus, so you can see the overall structure. Okay, so you can see you are giving input in the boiler. Okay, the boiler will heat your water and it will be given to the high pressure turbine. Okay, so once there will be a stages of turbine. Okay, high pressure turbine. Okay, low pressure turbine, and also some cases they will have intermediate pressure turbine. So three stages will be there. Generally traditional power plant will have the now recent power plant will have the these three stages of turbine. So you can see that instead of having a single turbine, we'll have a stages of turbine to extract maximum of energy. Okay, because the kinetic energy extraction is happening around the turbine. So if you employ a single turbine, there are so much limitation to extract the kinetic energy with a single turbine. So we'll have a three stages of turbine or two stages of turbine. Three stages of turbine means high pressure turbine, intermediate pressure turbine, and low pressure turbine, or we'll have high pressure and low pressure turbine configurations. Siemens is the biggest player of this turbine manufacturers. Okay, they are manufacturing it, and Mitsubishi, Toshiba, these are the well-renowned company which are making this turbine sets. Okay, so each turbine will have number of blades here. So blade diameter thickness will vary once the steam is getting expanded. Okay, so if you employ as a single turbine, there are more losses to handle. So that's why we are splitting into turbine. So you can see here, once this steam is flown through the high pressure turbine, again the steam is getting reheated. Why this means, mechanical engineers please note, once the steam is expanded, what will happen? The pressure will get dropped, the volume of the steam will increase. Okay, because you know that P and V is inversely proportional. Okay, so if you are having the steam at a lower pressure, there is a chance of getting moisture. Okay, so one of the main aspect of turbine handling is, if you have a moisture, okay, inside the turbine at a higher temperature, the blades of the turbine will get eroded. Okay, you may study it or not, I'm not sure, but this is the concept. Okay, you cannot allow any single droplet of moisture inside the turbine, which will erode the turbine much faster. You can assume how much fast it will rotate, and the oxidation process will occur much faster. Okay, so the turbine, whatever material you use, whatever you do, it will get eroded if you are using more moisture. So to reduce the moisture, you are reheating it. Okay, we'll say the reheating process. After reheating, again it will go to the superheated steam, so the moisture will be removed again. Okay, little energy is required here. Okay, instead of letting out outside to the condenser, you are retaking the steam and you are reheating it and removing the moisture, and you are let it back to the low pressure turbine. Again you are extracting some energy. Okay, so these two turbine will combinedly give the shaft the torque. Okay, so it will rotate the generator, and finally the output of the low pressure turbine will be given to the condenser. Okay, condenser, it's a combination of cooling tower also. So after, once it coming back to the ambient temperature, the vapor is phase change is happening and it is coming back to the water. It will be pumped back to again to the boiler. Mainly to reduce the pumping loss, we are reducing the water temperature as much as we can. Okay, that is one thing. And sometime the water temperature can be also used, okay, for preheating of the water to the boiler. Because you can see, if you are pumping, there is another important question you may ask, sir, boiler you need to heat it, so if I give a higher temperature, it will improve the efficiency of the system. Yes, that's why some cases we will send the water above some ambient temperature, 4 degree, 5 degree, like that. But if comparatively, if you are saying that 60 degree I will send, then pumping load will increase so much, it is also not economical. So that they will always see the optimistic output. So that is the difference between practical and theoretical. Okay, theoretical we'll say that maximum efficiency. Okay, but it is not possible to attain anywhere maximum efficiency. You will try to compensate the optimum efficiency. Okay, because you need to compensate now between the pump and your boiler. Your boiler require higher temperature input, but your pump cannot pump that much higher temperature water, because there is a need of higher electricity input required to the pump. Okay, so if you see the efficiency of the pump with the how much temperature you are pumping, that will definitely have some optimized value. That much only you can pump. Above that, if you try to pump, then pump will take more energy and it will lose the energy. So 40% of efficiency is our objective. Okay, even 1% you are improving more, it will give the. So this TS diagram. Okay, so TS diagram, T means we'll generally say that as a entropy. Okay, so entropy, enthalpy and all very important, that thermodynamical concept. Okay, but I am not sure this triple person they may know this. Okay, so they may not study the entropy, enthalpy apart from their +1 +2 or somewhere. Okay, so if you are having in this kind of concept in your syllabus and you are facing any interview related to power plant, kindly go through these terms, which will be definitely helpful to answer your question, because no one is going to ask in the highest level. Okay, they will ask the basics. So kindly be clear what is entropy, what is enthalpy. Okay, generally entropy will be termed as it is a disorder of a system. Okay, or we will say that the randomness of the system. Okay, and if you draw a graph between entropy and, okay, so S is the entropy and T is the temperature. Okay, so entropy, the symbol is S. So you can see that this is the energy flow diagram. Okay, any energy flow diagram, okay, will be easily represented using your TS. Okay, T for temperature, S for entropy. Kindly correct me. I think previously I said that T is entropy. Okay, so sorry, T is temperature and S is the entropy. So you can see that the process. Okay, 1 to 2, you are pumping energy whatever you are spending. Okay, again 2 to 3, your boiler. Again you are extracting the energy. So temperature is falling in the high pressure turbine, and after reheating, you are reheating. Okay, again the energy is extracted. Okay, the work done, okay, will be happening from low pressure turbine. So work extraction is happening from 5 to here, and from here to here condensation process. Okay, or we'll say that rejection process. Okay, so this graph is nothing but already I said that in the our last video, it is a Sankey diagram, very useful way of representing the energy flow diagram of any process. Okay, so also we are representing the energy flow, and the width of the bands are linearly proportional to the energy loss. Okay, so you can see there are two comparison they are doing. Okay, to understand the need of combined heat and power. So they are taking two cases. Okay, so in the first case, they are giving the fuel 100%. Okay, 100% of fuel, or you take 100 calorie of fuel or 100 joule of fuel or anything. Okay, so you know that power generation, you are now in the first case, note it carefully, you are generating the electricity and heat using two different processes. Okay, in the second case, this yellow, you are generating the electricity and heat in a single process using CHP process. Okay, combined heat and power, which is 85% efficiency. So first case, for electricity generation, okay, you are giving a 60 units of power, and heat generation you are giving a 40 units of power. You are splitting your 100 input into 60/40. If you give a 60 input, Okay, if you give a 60 input to the power plant, your power plant efficiency is limited to 40%. So the electricity output you need to get is 24%. Okay, so if you calculate 60 as your input, and in that 40% only you are getting as an useful output of your electricity, means 24 only you are getting as an output. Okay, so almost 60 minus 24. Okay, you are losing almost how much? Around 40, sorry, 36. Okay, 36 unit of power you are losing due to your 40% efficiency of your power generation. Again, out of 100, 40 is supplied to the generate heat. Okay, in your heat generation boiler. Boiler is 85% efficiency. Okay, so after losing 15% of the efficiency, you are getting only 34% as your output. Okay, because we are taking the demand as our requirement. Okay, demand is 34, I need to generate 34, I need to give 40. Okay, I need to generate 24, I need to give 60. So you see here, an industrial requires 24 units of electricity and 34 units of heat energy. So I am in the position of giving 100 unit of fuel. So what is the loss? Loss is 42. And what is the energy generated combinedly with power and heat is 58. Okay, so 58% you are losing and you are getting only 42%. But in the case of combined heat and power, okay, this is the advantage. Okay, you are giving 68 only, you are not giving 100 now, you need to give 68. So almost, okay, you are saving more than 32% of energy here itself. So if you give 68, electricity will be also generated and heat also will be generated, 34 units of heat, and the loss will be only 10%. Why? Because you are generating both the process, both the input combinedly. Suppose you need a heat, after heat is getting used, okay, the heat rejected can be used for the electricity, or you need electricity. Once your turbine generated the required 64 units of power, the outlet of the turbine can be used for heating process. Okay, that are only you are going to see what are the types. Okay, we'll say bottoming cycle, topping cycle. These are the classification which will tell which is required, which is preferred. Whether your process is preferring the first, your process is preferring first heat or first thermal output. First thermal output or first electricity output. Okay, so that is only explained in the paragraph. You can see 60 units of power is generated for the power plant, only 24 is generated. Okay, 60 units of fuel is generated in the power plant. Is delivered to, means it's supplied to the power plant, but you are getting the output as 24, and 40 is given to the boiler, and only 34 you are giving. Okay, you are getting. So instead of that, if you give this 2 in the CHP, you will get the maximum output, means 58 out of 68 you will getting. Here 58 out of 100 you are getting. So CHP is definitely better, but the process is more constrained and more limited. Okay, so you don't think that okay, all the power plant I will implement this. Definitely in power plant you cannot do it. Okay, mainly in process industries you can do it. So CHP is mainly talked for process industry. Okay, not only process industries, for institute also. For your for your information, you know MIT, right? Massachusetts Institute of Technology, US. They are running their CHP power plant from 1995 onwards. Okay, so they are having CHP. Why? Because they are in the need of electricity also. They are in need of cooling and heating also. Okay, like institutes. So those area, because equally you can say these two loads are required equally almost. CHP, you are not saying that only heat is enough, or you are not saying that only electricity is enough. So it depends upon the process where you are adapting. So there are different configurations also. There are different configurations you can uh, select the configuration based on your requirements. Okay, so you can see the steam turbine cogeneration system. As I said that back pressure and extraction are the two types of steam turbine we'll use generally for the cogeneration process. And another variation in the steam turbine is generally named as topping cycle, which will say that as extraction back pressure turbine that can be employed wherever there is a need of thermal energy as two different levels. Okay, so suppose you need a thermal energy for a higher temperature or a higher pressure, or two different higher pressure or higher temperature, you can tap the output from two different part. Okay, so the tapping will happen generally in the back pressure and extraction turbine, and there is a specific advantage of using generally a steam turbine when compared to other prime movers. Okay, because there are other prime movers also. We are going to see the other prime movers. Okay, natural gas turbines, we'll say Breton cycle. Okay, and also we'll say that IC engines. Still IC engines are used to generate power, especially in the UAE and Gulf countries, because they are blessed with lot of crude oil. Okay, so they don't have coal, they have more crude oil, so they are not using steam turbine. Still they are using IC engine. They are IC engine, you know, your petrol engine or diesel engine. Okay, where they are giving the crude oil and using piston arrangement, they are extracting the power. Okay, so you don't think that throughout the world, all the nook and corners, you will have the same steam turbine power plant. Somewhere UAE and all, still they are using IC engine based power plant. And natural gas power plant also they are using. Okay, generally in India, we'll use natural gas power plant. Okay, natural gas power plant when you require a peak load, because we are not blessed with natural gas. Okay, Narmada Basin was expected to have more quantity of natural gas. Okay, GMR and other companies are fighted for to take the natural gas. Finally, they said that the estimation is wrong, and we don't have enough natural gas as expected in the Narmada Basin. Okay, so but many countries like Russia, US, they are having so much blessed natural gas. So they are having more natural gas based power plant. Especially US are having more natural gas based power plant. You can see more power plants are natural gas based power plant. So, but more conventional is why steam based power plant means you can use water. So the specific advantage is there are so much specific advantage if you use a steam based turbine. Okay, so that's why steam based turbines are like globally more widely used power plant. Okay, so power generation efficiency of the demand of electricity is greater than 1 megawatt up to a few hundreds of megawatt. Generally we'll use a combined heat and power. Okay, for only some hundreds of megawatt. Okay, it will vary from 1 megawatt to 100. Due to the system inertia, this operation is not suitable for sites which intermediate energy demand. Okay, so somewhere you required a lower megawatt of power generation, somewhere required you need a higher megawatt of generation, but generally process industry will have in the range of 1 to 100 megawatt of energy, it based on the your requirement. Okay, so next is topping cycle. Maybe it is very important to understand, but it is very easy. Okay, topping cycle, you can uh, assume like uh, the top priority. Okay, generally a top priority is always electricity. So topping cycle will have the primary objective of generating electricity and secondary objective of generating power, sorry, thermal power. Okay, so very simple. Topping cycle means initially the fuel will be given to the turbine. Turbine will give the kinetic energy to the generator. So generator will generate the power and it will supply to the grid and building facility. Whatever the heat recovered from the turbine, okay, after you are extracting the electrical output, the remaining exhaust gas will be given to the heat recovery unit or heat recovery boiler, we'll say. Okay, that boiler will heat the required we'll have a heat exchanger. Okay, So the heat exchanger will transfer the heat from to the boiler. So inside the boiler, you may have anything. Okay, you may have a alcohol, you may have a dye, or you may have a paint, anything. So that heat will be transferred using a heat exchanger to the process fluid requirement. Okay, we'll say generally process fluid requirement. It can be anything, and then it can be cooled or heated for other processes also. Okay, so the topping cycle fuel is used primer in a prime mover such as gas turbine or reciprocating engine. So steam turbine, as I said that you need a huge process. Okay, so for a small process and all, you no need to go for a steam turbine. We generally select a gas turbine or a reciprocating engine. These are all small. Okay, so you can have your conventional generator. Okay, your generator you are using, no, where you are using diesel in the shopping complex in your home. Okay, small generator, some 5 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt generator. Why you are using diesel? Because that is IC engine based power generation. Okay, the best example is that only. So like that you can generate up to 1 megawatt or 20 megawatt of energy from the reciprocating engine or either from the gas turbine. Okay, the generated electricity can be sent to the local facility like buildings or anything, or it can be exported to the grid. Okay, so after this process, whatever the exhaust coming out from the prime mover will be used for the hot water and space heating process. Okay, so next is bottoming cycle. So as I said that bottoming cycle is the reverse of the topping cycle. So bottoming cycle, the objective is mainly to generate the heat required for the process industry. Once the heat is used, okay, the excess heat or the rejected heat from the process will be used to generate the electricity using turbine. Okay, so you can see from the diagram itself clearly you are supplying to the fuel to the industrial process. Okay, once the process is over, the wasted heat from the process is sent to the heat exchanger. From the heat exchanger, the heat, okay, the water is getting heated or anything. Okay, organic Rankine cycle and all, you will use ammonia. Okay, so based on the temperature whatever you are getting, generally most used nowadays, most widely used are organic cycle, organic Rankine cycle, where we will use low boiling liquids, but handling is difficult. Okay, not like water. If you are using ammonia, then handling will be difficult, but it will get boil much faster, it will expand much faster with the lower temperature. So you can operate a turbine. Okay, so boiling point of water, 100 degree, and boiling point of ammonia is 30 degree. So if you give a 30 degree at around 35 or 40 degree, it will expand. Okay, so means it will convert into, the phase change will happen. Once the phase change is getting happening, so then it will be like expand in the turbine and the electricity will be generated. Okay, so I don't want to go much deeper in the organic Rankine cycle and all. If someone wants, then I'll personally discuss that. So this is the process. Okay, so first you are generating thermal input for your factory furnace, okay, or industries, in industries, and the heat rejected will be used for the electricity production. Okay, and that can be exported to the grid or building. So gas turbine cogeneration, the range is generally, we will say, from few megawatts to 100 megawatt of capacity. So gas turbine cogeneration can be generated in any part. Okay, small part also you can generate it. Okay, so somewhere we will talk about maximum demand as a electrical engineer. Okay, maximum demand, suppose some industry suddenly rising their load. Okay, definitely will give penalty for them. They cannot suddenly raise their load then expected. So at that time, the grid will become unstable. It cannot able to give or deliver the expected energy to the customer, because it's a unexpected load. So suddenly, to to handle the peak demand. And also the other thing is, somewhere if you see the graph of 24 days, sorry, 24 hours in a day, in some particular 1 hour, okay, in a city, if you take the load pattern of a city, in particular 1 hour you'll have a peak requirement. Okay, generally a power plant can generate 40 megawatt of hour. In 1 hour it need to produce a 50 megawatt of hour. Okay, so that is not advisable to increase the short period of time 50 megawatt of hour using a fossil based fuel or like traditional power plant. So only that 1 hour we will use a gas based turbine. Okay, so we in Tamil Nadu we are having gas based turbine, which is mainly used to compensate this peak hour compensation. Okay, so apart from that, we are using this gas based power plant to generate small scale, okay, decentralized power, or like as you said, that combined heat and power and all, we are using it. But gas based power plant is not much efficient, okay, efficient process, because you are using gas to compress. Okay, gas to compress and expand, Brayton cycle will have lesser efficiency than a Rankine cycle. Okay, because you are using a compressor, wherever you are handling the compressor, the efficiency will fall. That is a general aspect. Okay, so gas turbine is used mainly to install it faster. We can start the gas turbine faster. Whenever it is required, you can start. Whenever it is required, you can off the turbine. It's not like a steam based turbine. Steam based turbine, you cannot off the steam based turbine frequently. If you off it, the lifetime of the turbine will get affected. But gas turbine, no problem at all. Okay, you can start like your fan and you can off like your fan. Okay, so that's why even in the CHP we are preferring gas turbine, because gas turbine or in a CHP, the load is not constant. Okay, wherever you require electricity, you will increase the generation. Wherever you require the thermal power output, you will increase the thermal power output. You will equally compensate the electricity output. So electricity output is not stable at all. So it is not much advisable to use a gas turbine based system. That's why, sorry, it's not advisable to use a steam based turbine system. That's why gas turbine, even it is less efficient, we are using in the CHP. CHP is mainly, like most of the CHP is based on gas turbine. Even I said that MIT, okay, MIT, they are using gas based turbine. Okay, they are using natural gas for gas based turbine. Okay, so you can check the detail if you are really interested out of your topic. Okay, so the short startup time provides the flexibility of intermediate operation, because intermediate operation is objective of your CHP. You have to produce a higher electricity output. Some case suddenly you need to reduce it to 50% and you need to compensate that for your thermal output, because input is same. Okay, for giving an input, you have to decide whether you need to generate more electricity or more thermal output. But it is not stationary. It will vary according to the requirement of your industry. Some point you need to generate more electricity, so this optimization is very important. Okay, so someone is interested to do some work related to this. So this optimization using AI, artificial intelligence, now they are doing so much. Okay, so to predict the things of the load pattern. Okay, so if you see the overall load pattern of the industry in a particular period time or particular day, particular season, particular month, the requirement of the process, heat and the electricity requirement will vary. So if you predict this before, even you can go for a steam based turbine. Okay, or gas based turbine, we are not much because as I said, like a fan, you can reduce the speed, you can increase the speed, there is no problem. Okay, in the intermittent operation with the gas turbine, that is main objective. Okay, sorry. More heat can be required at a higher temperature, mainly using gas turbine, and the heat output is less than the required by the users. It is possible to also supply, if suppose the heat requirement is less, you can supply the natural gas uh, with the additional fuel, which will have a oxygen rich exhaust gas, which will boost the temperature output. You can see here, you are generating the gas turbine. Okay, you are supplying the fuel air, you are generating the output. So some of the exhaust you are sending back to the, okay, say 500 degree. The exhaust temperature, you see, it's more 500 degrees Celsius. and it is mixing with you can mix that with the excess fuel, and again you can fire that in the boiler, okay, where you can extract 150 degree of the output. That is the advantage. So you can see the natural gas supplied is 100%, 42% you are using for the mechanical energy, which can be converted again into electrical output as 40%, okay, and also thermal energy 58%, which you can use that usable thermal energy as a 50%, and loss is only 10%. So 90%, mostly 90% you can use it, okay. So the heat source, so where are the different sources you can extract the heat from the gas turbine, okay. So for engine jacket cooling, we will use water. So that water will have some significant amount of heat. And for lubricating the engine, okay. So you will have some oil. That oil will get heated. So that oil heat can be extracted. And in the first stage of air intaking, intercooler will have some heat that can be extracted. And engine exhaust gas will be higher temperature, okay. That you are mainly extracting. So you can see that if you take this 1, 2, 3, the 1, 2, 3 are recoverable in the form of hot water. So this heat, whatever you are taking first three is, you can take up to 70 to 80, 90 degree, which can heat a water for preheating process. But especially you see here the engine exhaust gas, which is 400 to 500 degrees Celsius, which will used to dry the drying process or waste heat requiring boiling process, which is highly used for the process industry, okay. So that is mainly we are extracting and we are sending back to the, so you can see that there are alternative technology. This only I am talking organic Rankine cycle engine, okay, which can use a lesser temperature to do the process, okay. So lesser temperature, how means, I already said, instead of water or instead of air or something, they will use the organic components or like fluids, ammonia, many R2, R12, like that, many metals are, which will easily get phase change at a lower temperature. So next is reciprocative engine cogeneration. So as I said that the engine now, instead of gas, we are using reciprocating engine. Reciprocating engine, I given the example. Same reciprocating engine you are generating, okay. So here also you will have air cooling and water cooling process. So it will take some, okay, heat from here, and it will be sent to the process industry, sorry, in the process like other process of the industry. And the power generated also can be taken, okay. And the exhaust, as I said, that exhaust also will be high temperature, okay. Like your silencer is getting heated, right? Similarly the exhaust of your IC engine only in your bike. So similarly the exhaust will have a higher temperature that can be used for the steam generation. So that's all our overview of this cogeneration. In next class, we will see specifically how to select this technology based on our requirement, and we'll see what is the heat power ratio and other significance of this in the next class.